your thoughts on spring practice and what you hope to see in your spring game this Saturday, please.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a great spring. Inherited a great group of kids. They work hard. They're physical. They're tough. They're disciplined. We've had a really physical spring practice. Worked a lot of situations. Gotten some kept some schemes both offensively and defensively, and then we sprinkled some stuff in from our other stops. Me being at Florida, Coach Johnson being in a bunch of different places in the Big Ten, and then Coach Patno, the offense coordinator from Coastal Carolina. So we've done a good job, blending in with these kids, getting them dialed in on the philosophy changes and enhancing the stuff that was already there that was really, really good for this program. And so I'm just excited. I've had a blast. And then Saturday's the spring game, expecting the big crowd out here. And I think a lot of people are excited to see what, this team, is ready to do.
Take questions for Coach Collins, please. *1 on your telephone keypad will put you in the queue, and then the operator will introduce you.
And we'll hear from Mark Narduzzi with Philadelphia Inquirer. Mark, your line is open.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Coach. I was wondering if you could comment on the recent NCAA rules. I know they still have to be rubber stamped in June, but
Sure.
How do you think that affects Temple and your thoughts on them?
Well, the big thing I think with any rule change that happens in college football is just what's best for the student athlete. And I think a lot of things that have been implemented are going to be advantageous for the players. So anything that helps our kids or recruits, I think it's great for the game. And so the early signing period, the 10 days of camp, not being able to leave campus unless it's at a university property. I think those are good moves that'll help the welfare of the student athlete, which I fully support.
Thank you.
And next we'll move to Shannon Greene with Orlando Sentinel.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the job.
Thank you.
Coach, I wanted to get your thoughts on the early signing period and if you thought that it was more of a pro or does it present challenges, just your general thoughts on that.
Well, I'm generally, I consider myself a very positive person, so whatever rules are implemented, I try to look at it for the positive and how we can make it useful for Temple University, how we can help, kids with the recruiting process, and I think it's going to be good. In December there will be, a line of demarcation drawn with who is signed, who's still available, the guys that we have committed, are they really committed or did they just make a reservation? So I think that knowledge is very useful going into the, last month and a half of the recruiting cycle. So I think it'll clean up for everybody involved. The college's top 25 programs, on throughout college football, and especially the student athlete.
Will it have much of an impact on the month of January for your coaching staff?
Yeah, I think it'll really focus that time. So instead of still, chasing, however many kids that are on your recruiting board that are still on other people's recruiting board, kids that are committed but might be taking other visits, I think that really draws a line in the sand to say, hey, these kids are signed, they're good, and then they can actually focus on, their academics or whatever the case may be, and then it'll help us focus on the kids that are left or the spots we still have to sign for that February signing period. So I think it's advantageous for all the parties involved.
Thanks, Coach.
And next we'll move on to Dan Tortora with WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing great.
To take a look at kind of going off of that, just how you've seen as a coach recruiting change with obviously the institution over the last few years of social media and how you can really keep track of the day-to-day of what a player is doing. Just what you can say about how you respond as a coach to how recruitment has essentially become very, very public as opposed to being more private and methodical.
Right. Well, and I still think it goes back to work ethic. We make sure we monitor all the kids that we're recruiting, their social media feeds, what they're putting out there, the things that they're drawn to, whether it be music, whether it be graphics, whatever the case may be. So we're in tune with, how these kids are thinking and who they truly are. We're a tough, physical brand of football that we play here. and we really want to know character-wise about the recruits. And so the social media piece helps us really learn that. And it's not just, learning from word of mouth from other people. We get to see these kids interact on a daily basis with their peers on social media, so you get a clear perspective for the most part of what these kids think, how they approach football, how they approach their life, what their mindset is, and if that, in most cases, do they fit into our program, what our philosophies are, what our culture is, and kind of get a head start for building those relationships through social media. So I think it's great.
And then as far as coming through your first spring with Temple, just what you can say to the team's response, like you said, trying to see, do they fit what we're looking for? What can you say about establishing your culture and how the team has kind of responded to what you've been?
Well, the advantage that I had coming in here was I had an intimate knowledge of this place. I'm great friends with a lot of the members of the previous coaching staff that were here. I've coached some of them, worked with others. So I had a really good handle of the philosophies, the culture that was in place, and came in here and accentuated the positives. And then added some of the things that I've learned at some of the great places that I've been fortunate to coach at. Things that we did at Alabama, things that we did at Florida, Mississippi State, Georgia Tech, some really good places with some really good coaches, and brought that knowledge to these kids. And they see themselves as well as they should as a top 25 championship program. So our job is to add to that culture, add to that foundation, and really work towards, every day enhancing our brand and building a better product day in and day out.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Sure.
And next we'll move to Henry Clay with CBS Sports Philadelphia.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Quick question. I know it's been a busy time for you and getting into the spring workouts. Have you had a chance to look at what you've seen with your players and the upcoming season and the tough conference that you're in?
Right. So when we first got here, we watched every single game from last season. We watched a lot of the bowl prep, so the practices. We watched that, so we really got a feel for our kids. Then the off-season conditioning, the way we set up our workout program, is very grueling, not only physically but mentally, just so guys could reveal who they really are in tough circumstances. And our kids responded great. And obviously as we go throughout the next month, this will be the first time in 20 years that I haven't been on the road recruiting during the month of May. So I'm going to be a little anxious during that time because I'm going to be used to being out on the road, but really going to take that time to study the future opponents, to make sure we're, the things that we got to get ready for in preseason. But really the focus has been on us this entire off season, this entire spring, fundamentals, technique, effort to the ball, playing our physical, brand of football, being tough. And, so that's been the focus throughout the off season and throughout the spring, is worrying about us.
You spoke that you were friends with the former administrator, the former coaching staff.
Yes.
Have they told you how tough these Philadelphia fans are?
They've made me aware of everything, and the people have been great. I've been up here before, and I really appreciate how knowledgeable the fans are in this area, how passionate they are about their sports, and so it's just I've embraced it, and I'm just excited to help these kids get better and better every day.
Thanks, Coach, and good luck.
Thank you.
Take one more for Coach Collins, please.
I'm sorry, we were going to take one more question.
Yes, we can take one more for Coach Collins.
Thank you. Christopher Heidel with Herb FM Sports Radio, Baltimore is next.
Hi, Coach Collins. Congratulations on getting the job there in Philly.
Thank you.
I know it's a tough town because I have sports up there. I love their sports. So
right.
I know that. What are you going to look for in your spring game this weekend? What's the positive and what's the things you like to see positive from this game, and what's the negatives you want to work on
Sure.
in the fall?
Well, the big thing is just making sure that every kid on our team plays. All their family and their friends are going to be here. All the Temple fans and alumni will be here, former players. So we just want to make sure everybody plays. We've had a very tough physical, spring practice. And so this will be a culmination of it. But just have the kids out there playing fast, playing physical, having fun, playing with juice, playing with enthusiasm, and competing at a very high level. Whether it be a Tuesday that's the third day of practice or whether it be spring game in front of a ton of people, the effort, the enthusiasm, the attention to detail are expected here. So we expect to see the same thing, with competition at every single position. We've kind of made a draft of the two teams, so it'll be a full offense and full defense competing against another group of kids. So it's not going to be ones or twos. It's going to be just a mix of guys, and just get them out there and play fast, play physical, and have a lot of fun.
And the last question I have, any players stand out during practice? Have you hoped to see them succeed?
Yeah, there's so many. We're having, Friday night before the spring game, we're going to have a champions dinner where we award the superlatives throughout the spring ball and throughout the entire off-season conditioning program. The guys that have done really, really well, we're going to announce those on Saturday. But there's a ton of guys. I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of the way they prepare, proud of the way they compete, how tough they are, how physical they are, and the way they come to work with a positive attitude every day. It's just a blast to be around. And just to name one or two right now, I don't think that would I think that'd do a disservice to how hard all of this team works and how much they pull together and play together. It's really special.
Well, good luck this Saturday and enjoy the spring game.
Thank you so much.
Coach Collins, thanks for joining us today. Best of luck in your spring game. Wishing you good health and good off-season. We connect again in the summer.
Absolutely. Thank you.